By 1920, baseball had gained a solid foothold in Seattle. Dugdale had accomplished everything he set out to achieve and decided to sell his interests to a group of businessmen led by the well-heeled Bill Klepper. The local team became known as the Seattle Indians, playing in the now dominant Pacific Coast League. In 1924, behind the stellar season of homegrown pitching ace Veen Gregg, the Indians captured Seattle's first Coast League pennant. It would be the last flag raised in Seattle for years to come. For the tight-fisted Klepper, owning the Indians was merely an opportunity for profit. But at the close of the 1929 season, a crash in the stock market meant no investment was secure. Seattle was one of the hardest-hit cities in the country. 1 out of every 4 workers was left unemployed. Along the once bustling timber skids, shanty towns filled with families who never imagined facing such harsh realities. Though the game of baseball continued to operate, Klepper's juggling of the club's funds sent ball players scrambling to collect their earnings.
Checks were bouncing, and I was helping my family out at home, so I would go to the Dexter Horton Bank, take a cab. I wouldn't take a shower. I'd dress in 5 minutes to get to the bank before 5 o'clock. Cash my check. There'd be enough money there for maybe to cover 4 or 5 guys.
By 1931, the sounds of America's entertainment crackled over the airwaves as a new innovation took hold in Seattle. Looking for the cheapest way to get his Indians games on radio, Klepper gave the broadcasting duties to the team's publicity agent, Leo Lassen. Though an avid baseball enthusiast and capable sports writer, Lassen had no experience in front of the mic and a peculiar voice. Games were now heard hundreds of miles beyond the city limits, fueling the big league dreams of neighborhood kids.
I first got involved with baseball when I was about 13 years of age. And we'd have pickup teams down there at Mercer Playfield. We'd get together and we'd go down there. It was during the Depression, and there was nothing else for us kids to do but play ball all day. We had a kid by the name of Mike Budnick, a hard-throwing right-hander up at Queen Anne. He'd strike out 18 to 20, 21 guys a game. Fred Hutchinson was an outstanding American Legion pitcher also. He pitched their team back to the Nationals. And believe it or not, when those 2 guys hooked up into a match, we had the real Donniebrooks.
Indians fans of the early 30s enjoyed a new wave of baseball talent. And in one square-jawed kid from Santa Clara named Bill Lawrence, one of the game's most spectacular center fielders.
He had a long stride because he was tall and he could really go get a ball.
If it stayed in the ballpark, you could just bet anything you had that Bill Lawrence would get it. One of the best I ever saw. Don't care who it was.
Joe DiMaggio one time said, he says, you're playing alongside of one of the great center fielders of all time.
While Lawrence covered most of the outfield, second baseman Freddie Muller powered the Indians' offense with 121 runs batted in, ranking him among the best in the Coast League in 1932.
Boy, now there was a tough cookie. Second base, good-looking guy. And old Freddie Muller, some guy come into him with their spikes up a little bit, and the next time they came into him, he got tagged right in the chin with the ball in his hand. Now that kind of stings a little bit when that happens.
Crackling like kindling, Seattle's 19-year-old Dugdale Park, home to Seattle's Coast League baseball team, burned to the ground early this morning in a spectacular 3-alarm fire. The Seattle Daily Times, July 4th, 1932.
Dugdale Park lay in ruins, and once again, to save money, Klepper had only insured the stadium for 1/3 of its actual value. To keep him from taking his ball club elsewhere, the city allowed Klepper to finish the season at a municipally owned high school facility called Civic Field, known by local athletes as the Rockpile.
There wasn't a blade of grass in that park. It was all dirt. And old Barney Kempton used to be the groundkeeper, and I'll never forget, they used to get teams of kids down there to pick rocks. It was tough and it was hard on the ball players because it was like playing with concrete.
Nevertheless, Civic Field's worst traits were often its main attraction. Third baseman Coffee Joe Coscarart and Dick the Needle Geiselman thrilled the crowd when forced to dodge light poles planted in playable territory. Though the Indians of the 1930s never finished higher than fourth, a number of new talents made their mark in the league. 1934 introduced Seattle fans to a jug-eared rookie outfielder named Arthur Hunt. Nicknamed Mike by his teammates, Hunt possessed a mammoth swing and led the Coast League in home runs for 2 of his first 4 seasons.
A mighty man is Michael Hunt. He cannot field, he cannot bunt, but when he hits this bludgeon wielder, you better mount your pony, fielder. Seattle Post-Intelligencer.
Atop the mound for the Indians, one stocky hurler looked more like a carnival doll than an ace pitcher. Known as Cupid Dick Barrett, the powerful right-hander was a proven winner at Civic Field.
Barrett was one of the most effective pitchers in the Coast League because he had what you call a rubber arm. He could pitch every third day. And when Barrett started the ball game, he never looked down in the bullpen for help. He had a heart of a lion.
The summertime traditions of baseball and the Indians' colorful roster entertained Seattle's fans, but the team could not turn a profit. With the ball club deeply in debt, Klepper's frustration peaked during a doubleheader on the final afternoon of the 1937 season. Barrett's contract awarded him a $250 bonus for a 20-win season. Cupid Dick had pitched and won the day's first game and now had 19. Klepper hurried down to the Indians' dugout and ordered manager Johnny Bassler to keep Barrett from pitching the second game. A defiant Bassler ignored the order and sent Barrett back to the mound. Cupid pitched and won his second game of the day, and Bassler was fired. Within 3 months, Klepper was looking to unload his bankrupt franchise.